So there is a lot happening in Marvel Contest of Champions at the moment. I'm working as hard as I possibly can to work on guides of some of this stuff, but there's a lot of new content, information, and some things that have occurred all of a sudden. So I'll try and break them down into like videos, guides, and stuff, information and description, of course, all those things. This video is going to be focused on statcast relics, the tricks around and tips around the event and the realm event, or an alliance-based event for this one, not the realm event, that's something else. There's also going to be coverage about some monetization things and just general things around this. So let's get into statcast relics, the alliance event, and so much more. If you want an overall guide to statcast relics, and I have covered this last week, go and check out the video. The link is in the description. It goes over some good things, some bad things, and some stuff we still don't know. We do get some compensation for the defense-based delay. Also, if anybody is curious why sometimes I put defense as DEFENCE, best to Google it, really. There's a difference between how us in Britain spell things and other countries do. Like, I wouldn't say to someone in Spain, you need to spell something the way you need to spell it. And it so if you're wondering, that is why. Best to Google these things if you're wondering about like spelling changes and stuff. This time it's like a country specific thing. Also because it auto corrects all the time when it comes to like spell checker on like documents and things. But anyway, we need to open up a little bit of this, well, I'd say compensation, but it's the first time getting a statcast. I had to like hunt them down because they are located in the Shard Crystal sector. So let's quickly, that looked like microscopic, by the way. Let's get this opened, as you never know what you're going to get from this. And we start with that one right there. Will it make a difference? Well, it's a tech-based one. To get more of them, they are located within the featured items section. I think they're also in the unit section, and I think as well they could be... No, they're not in the Rebirth section. That's for later on. But they are in the unit section because you can get them with money. Or you could just buy them, or they're there in the Relics tab as well to kind of like purchase them with money or purchase them with units as your opportunity. There are 180 to get over the 3 different types, whether you're going for the 5-star version, whether you're chancing your luck for the 6-star version, whether you're chancing your further luck at the 7-star version, and that's a difficult one to get. The opportunity will be there at knocking. Also, you've probably noticed on screen, but I'll kind of like illustrate the point. It's unit investment for those that are non-spending. Yes, you can get unlimited 5-star statcast relics. You can only get 16 of the Thronebreaker ones, which equates to 1,600 units, and you can get upwards of 10 Valiant statcast relics, which of course give you that chance of either getting like 1 or nothing, where those are actually the drop rates right there. 3% chance, but mainly you're getting a 5-star is 120 units, 1,200 total. So let's say that you're kind of like buying all that, 26 opportunities right there, the most spicier thing, and effectively you're spending about, what's that, 1,800, 2,800 units being spent overall. But the biggest question will be, how does that make a difference? Well, it does and it doesn't. If you're looking at the Relics Reborn area, you can see the volume of points to what you get back from it. And of course, how you climb up that is going to be important as well. There are some milestones to collect as part of a generic base sense of it, but you have to turn in about 3,000 points in order to get the top end of things, which is not particularly fair. Now we'll kind of drax this and literally we'll look at a very literal way of how you could do this. Like, I would take the 3,000 points and we divide it by the 20 points per opening a 5-star statcast relic or 5-star statcast relic Nexus crystal. Let's just kind of like go with that. It is that, so that's 150 you'd have to open, which, and again, if you go into game right now and then we take that 150, we then times it by the number, which is 40 units. Yeah, like we're talking absolutely 6,000 units to spend in order to get yourself that. Now, again, that's very Drax. That's an incredibly literal way of looking at all of this, because you don't want to spend 6,000 units on this one. Let's be brutally honest. And of course, with the balancing side of things, you're still doing 26 between the other ones as well, providing you've got access to Valiants, because not everybody has access to Valiant-based crystals, because not everybody's Valiant. But let's just say Valiant and Thronebreaker, those 28. So if you take the 16 Thronebreakers and plus it by the Valiant statcast, which just to kind of ease time is 300, you'll spend 2,800 units for 700 points. So again, it gives you a bit of like a perspective on the acquisition method of it. I think for a lot of people, you're going to have to be very careful on a budget. If we're just theoretically kind of throwing numbers out there, it's going to be something between 5,000 to 6,000 units to get this. The way that you're going to have a better time or a fairer time for you and your units is likely to find opportunities to rank up these relics. So you can see on screen some of the other alternative ways that you can get points. Like you can gather points by, first of all, complete a statcast clincher solo objective tier. And again, we'll have a look at that in a minute, because there are other ways to get points. And there's also rank up a 5-star relic and rank up a 6-star relic. Of course, that is going to be where you... yes, if you open up a 7-star statcast, that's great. Along the way of the milestones, you will have opportunities to grab things that are going to be helpful, like 5-star plus 5 relic innate stone crystals. Okay, well, that's not exactly it. Maybe some innate stones. Okay. So no, not hopefully. I don't know why I said that, because there's not really anything along the lines, except for when you get into the business end of a 6-star statcast relic right there, and then get further things like Valiant statcast relics. There's more that will come with it, but like I said, like it's going to be between 5,000 and 6,000 units for everyone across the board, not just one specific person of one specific progression. It is going to be everybody. Yes, it might be less for Valiant people, but it's going to be a lot more for other people as well. So it's always very difficult to go, because I don't know everybody's progression, where you're up to the game, how many units you're willing to invest. It's very difficult. So I'd largely have to give you kind of like speculative information or data, because otherwise it just doesn't cover everybody in the community. This is where I think it's going to be important for you to not hoard, but kind of look at your current situation around alloys and what you've got to play with, and also look at where your current relics are and go, okay, well, where's my 5-star ones? Where's my 6-star ones? Can they be ranked up? And using some of that resource, which I've been holding back on for the last few weeks, knowing that what command we're going to be playing games wise, and go, okay, well, if I rank up relics now, or rank up some of the newer ones, and this is where we do have a slight problem and issue with the new statcast relics. The means in which to get them higher does differ, and the higher they are, it becomes a little bit more complicated. So here's a 5-star one, which I think has a little bit of a difference. Yeah, so that is a little bit of a difference because it's a lot lower in the type of tiering of basic alloys and class-based alloys. So this is where I think some of you are going to have a bit of a benefit here by ranking up some of these, like skimming a little bit. So I'm going to like rank up this one right here, which is going to be beneficial to me to do points acquisition, and then kind of mix it in with a little bit of unit spend into the crystals, but at least you do have opportunity to go to other stores. This is why if you go at the moment in game to places like, I think the Radiance, like we've got opportunity for tier 4 basic alloy to rank up further on, say the 6-star versions of relics, and the same thing when it comes to going into alliance-based locations like the Glory store, which does have some alloys there if you haven't grabbed them already. You can also go to the Battlegrounds store to grab yourself, again, more alloys. More tier 1 celestial alloy is in there. You can also go to, and it's if you got the Mysterium for it, there are, I think, is it one location in this one? Well, there's maybe a couple actually. You can get some relic-based rank up resource. So there's places to go in game, and the Valiant and the different bundles there. Different on different progressions, by the way. It's not just about one type. There's also a statcast relic clincher type objective where you get some more points, I do think you should do that. It mitigates your unit spend. Don't invest your units yet. Go to the rank up stores that I said. Go and do the objectives as I said as well. This can be very easy. It just depends on approach. I've been parking champions in Road to Labyrinth and lower content, allowing myself to get hit and then clicking the relic, but it's up to you. But you have to end the fight with using your relic in order to wipe out the enemy, in order to get the points from the objective. All tips and information can be found in the description, but obviously just to highlight, make sure before you invest any units is do some of the things that have been set out for you. Use that rank up resource from the various locations and stores I pointed out, and then think about investing units. Do not invest units right at the start. Get all your free stuff done and out the way so you can focus on the investment. Or do you want to invest? And that's going to be a big question. And also from an alliance perspective, how far you're willing to go. Because theoretically, we're pointing out the fact that everybody, for 45,000 points of investment, right? Everybody in the alliance, divided by, say, 30 participants, has got to invest in 1,500 points. Now, that's the problem in itself, because 1,500 points will only get you up to milestone 9. So as long as you're happy with that, and lo and behold, and guess what's there? 1,500 points has to be invested if you want to get the Rebirth token. So look, Kabam trapped you there. You're going to have to invest in something for that. Now, we'll have a look at all the free points you could probably get, but it isn't going to be specific. It's very specific to different progressions. Different progressions will likely not able to get that Rebirth token unless you invest in a lot of units, because some of the stuff, hey, you don't have a Valiant-based crystal, and some of the resources are going to be trapped in higher progressions in some of those stores. So good luck in the grind. 1,500 points has to be got per person in the alliance to get up to that Rebirth token. And that's going to be it for the video. Good luck in this event, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.